Hello, boys and girls. This is Statutory Rape. You'll have to excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold. Yes, witches do catch colds. So, this video is a response video to LaCountra Springs' Divas Den topic on racism on social apps, hookup apps, for gay men. We've all seen those ads, no blacks, no Asians, and things of that nature, and, obviously it's going to rub some people the wrong way. Now, I do see two sides to that, and we'll get into that. The first side I see is, there are people who use these apps to pinpoint what they're looking for. Some are looking for, muscle guys, some are looking for twinks, some are looking for different things, and they want to cut out on a lot of BS that, they come across. When you're looking for a certain type, obviously you don't want to get a bunch of people who don't match that. Those kind of apps are, let's face it, they're fuck apps. They're not really for long-term relationships. They're not really for finding your soulmate. They're not really for any of that. They're for sex. On one hand, you have, people who want to get to the, what they're looking for. They want to get right to finding the person that turns them on. And if certain things don't turn you on, they don't do it for you. Some people are more into white guys. Some are more into Asians. Some are more into blacks. And they might not have a way of getting to their core audience any other way than one of these apps. And so they're using it to pinpoint exactly what they want. To that end, I don't think it bothers me. Then you have the other ones who state it somewhat in a way that is, offensive. I don't think that these apps give these people, or turn these people racist. I don't think that these apps make people racist. I think that there are people who are just very shallow and don't choose their words wisely, and it comes off offensive, and they might not know it or they might not care. Now, blaming the app for such a thing, to me, is silly. That's like saying that violent music makes people violent. That's like saying that, I saw a movie so I had to emulate it. When we start blaming media and other things for our personal behaviors, I honestly think it's more about gay culture. Gay culture is very centered on a certain look and certain types and certain genres that people fall into. You've got, black people have to be, homo thugs and, tops and aggressive, and, white guys are, little white bottoms or Abercrombies, and, frat boys, and, all these different types of things. And gay culture really plays up those archetypes of masculinity and what they represent. I think it's more within gay culture when we say we don't want certain things because in our minds we see things a certain way. I don't want a black person because I don't want that, homo thug attitude. And not all black men are like that. But if that's what gay culture teaches us, how else are we to know? Some may say, well, I don't date white guys because I don't want that subservient white boy thing, and that obviously all white guys aren't like that. Why do we think that? It's because it's what gay culture shows us oftentimes. We fit into these classifications, masculine or drag queen, or, top or bottom, or bears or twinks, and, daddies and sons, and all of these things, and they all represent something, to the point that we start to discriminate against an entire group of people based on those categorizations. So, on one hand, you do have people who are just being honest. Certain things just don't turn them on, and they're looking for what turns them on because it's an app that's for that. You're trying to pinpoint exactly what you're looking for and weed out what you don't. On another and deeper level, gay culture teaches us that certain things are desirable and certain things are not. They teach us that people fit into these classifications, and that's all that they're for. Or that's what they represent. And if you want a certain flavor, then that's what you go to. there's two ends of that, and I kind of see it. Now, whether or not I think it's wrong, it depends. If you're just using it as a fuck app and you're just trying to find the person that you're looking for and you're trying to weed out what you don't, you like what you like and you don't what you don't, there's nothing really wrong with that. Now, if you see people as these stereotypes, and that's all you see when you look at a person, or when you hear that they're black, or you hear that they're white, you hear that they're Asian or Latino, then that is a problem. That promotes ignorance, and you're not really getting to know the person. However, how well are we trying to know a person through an app like Grindr? How much do we want to know about a person through an app like Adam for Adam? I mean, let's face it, these apps usually have pictures of, dicks and asses. We're not really trying to get to know the core of a person. We're not really trying to get to know a personality. Sometimes when you use these apps, you have to take them for what they are. I've used them from time to time, and I do know you're not going to find your soulmate. I mean, you could, but it's not really for that. You kind of have to be honest. You kind of have to understand that you're not going to be everyone's type. You're not going to be what everyone wants. Some people aren't going to want to talk to you. Some people are going to want to block you, and it's for the reason that people are looking for sex. And if you don't fit that type, then why bother opening up a conversation with you? When we get down to the real business of what these apps are for, I think that it takes a lot of the shock that some people get when you read such things like, no Asians, no Latinos, no whatever. It's not really shocking. If you're not into them, you're not into them. I think that there is a level of narcissism in a lot of gay men, and they end up saying things that they really don't understand are that offensive. No rice, no fried chicken, no tacos, no whatever. And to them it seems like a joke. In their circle of friends, it might be a joke. They might not mean it in a negative way, and I don't think a lot of them do. I think that they're just saying it in what they think is a cute way, and we take it as being highly offensive. And I don't think that they're against those kinds of people, but once again, they just don't turn them on. And those apps are for looking for sex. And there's my opinion on the evils of hookup apps. One thing I will say to people who might not be familiar with those kinds of apps is that that kind of racism is just what you're going to run into. It's not going away anytime soon, and it's something that you do have to put up with. I mean, you do have to take into consideration that these apps are for looking for what you want in your area and how far away it is from you. And you're using that to weed out certain people and to get the people that you do want. Sometimes you have to take it as just blunt honesty. Sometimes you do have to take it as ignorance, but I think it's on a person-by-person basis, and you have to decide for yourself what it is. I want to thank LaCountry Springs for the great idea of opening up a dialogue for queens to discuss various topics. I think it's a really smart idea, and I hope that it catches on. So, all of you queens out there, grab your webcams and your video recorders and weigh in on these topics, because I'd love to hear from you. Bye. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I said I used them. Don't go looking for me on those. I see you. Shady bitches. Stop sending me messages.